Good day, good people. For those who don't know me, I go by Tobishinobi, but you probably knew that because you clicked on the link and so on and so forth. In any event, we're here today to talk about the FX, no, not the FX9. The A7S, no, not the A7S3 either. The FX6, yes, the FX6 sits between those two. Been interested in this product for a little while actually, since Sony announced it. In any event, FX6, let's go play with it, see what it says, and yeah, let's have some fun. Then we have the adapter, pretty standard affair, very similar to the FX9 one. The viewfinder. Alright, so I think it's got that old FS7 style clamp system. I think some people weren't too crazy about that, but it is what it is. So, yeah, cable connectivity which goes on the side. The smart handle remote, I'm not sure the exact name for this, but you get the idea. Goes on the side. BP U35 battery. So it differs from standard camera batteries in that you can press it to see how charged it is. I wish they did this on like all batteries, but top handle, it mounts differently from the FX9 one, I guess because of the smaller frame. So you have the XLR inputs for sound, and you can use this for mounting various things, but I think for most part you use it to mount the monitor and standard multi-interface input there. There you have it. So actually pretty small, one-handed. It's really light, like really light. That's 2 fingers. That's obviously without the battery, no lens, no handle, but you're not going to struggle taking this around with you all day. See, it's like almost half the size. Weight-wise, obviously it's got the lens. This is not fully kitted out, but it's got a fairly heavy battery. BP 90, I believe this is. But yeah, significant difference. And this actually takes the new CF cards that go in the A7S3. So, interested to see how well it performs. But let's take it out, let's play with it.
Alright, so in the field, got the FX9 with me, and I want to introduce you to my good friend. Right, say hello.
Hey guy.
Yeah, so super talented DP. Gonna help me out because he knows a little bit more about this stuff than I do. He knows a lot more than us about this stuff than I do. But let's see what we get.
First impressions are it's kind of the perfect middle ground between a mirrorless and a cinema camera. It's got all the familiar dials where you'd expect them. It's really small, it's really light, but yeah, it's like they shrunk the FX9 basically. Definitely a step up from the FS5 though because of the magnesium as opposed to plastic. I like that. That's got a pro feel. Also this hand grip, which it inherited from the FS5, is brilliant. It's probably the best of all the hand grips that I've used in all of the cameras in the history of cameras.
That's a big statement right there.
I know, but it's that good. It's that good. Canon side grip is decent, but this one actually like fits your hand. Like it's all the way in there. It's great with the wheel right here, the zoom rocker and everything. So much better than most of the options you can get. The menus are just about 1,000,000 times better as well. It's like, this looks a lot like Blackmagic's menus in a lot of ways. Compared to the A7S3, this has like a majority of the pro features you would want to be added into a the middle ground cinema camera. Sometimes with an SLR, I mean a mirrorless, not having an ND can be a real hang up, but because this has the electronic one, you don't really have to think about it.
Yeah.
It just turns on when you want it to.
Don't have to worry about any matte boxes.
No.
For me, it just slots right in to where it needs to be for run and gun. Just like 1-man, 2-man gang.
Oh yeah, I mean these, you could pack 2 of these in a backpack. Like it's crazy. You couldn't do that.
You're trying to kill me. Two of those in the backpack?
I could.
All right. You're just showing off now. So Bryce is gonna try the classic Michael Bay shot and see what we get. Interested to see how this is gonna turn out, but let's have some fun. I like it, man. It's just, it's really light. I'm loving the top handle. It just makes sense. I mean, if you really wanted to vlog with it, you could. I don't know why you would, but you could.
This 25, I was expecting it to be a 50 because of the crop sensor, but then this is full frame, so it's still 25. You get the entire bridge in the shot. It's really good for like shooting these huge cityscapes too.
Yeah, I like it, man. It's lightweight, it's good form factor, everything is like super accessible. Looking forward to playing with this. I'm definitely gonna get one of these.
So first impressions, I think the color science is much farther ahead than what they had before. I think the button layout's great for how small of a body it is. It seems like that full frame sensor is going to be amazing. It's pretty much just the perfect sort of middle ground between cinema and mirrorless. It's really easy to learn for somebody who has used smaller cameras before, and yeah, I'm really excited to use it.
Day 2 FX6, and been playing around with it. I'm sold. I'm really stoked about the camera. I know some people have had some mixed reviews about this, but like for me and from what I need, it's just really important. I have the FX9, I have the A7S Mark III, and it just fits really nicely in there. It's portable, it has all of the pro features that you need, and I'm really loving the fact that there's just, Sony's taken the one mount to this next level. So everything I've ever owned for Sony works on this. All of my Sony lenses all work with this, and so I'm just really happy. I think for people who are looking to step up, this is a really good camera to kind of start with. Never owned the FS7 or the FS5 even, but I feel that this is, I think some people were kind of disappointed with some of those cameras, but I feel this is in a really good spot. So it's got the 10.2 megapixel sensor in there, so very similar to the A7S III, but because it's 16:9, obviously you lose pixels at the top and the bottom, but still super high sensitivity. Don't quote me on the exact numbers, but I think 409,000 ISO, super high sensitivity. Now Sony hasn't said that this is dual base ISO, but effectively it does have a kind of dual ISO situation going on. So when you get to a certain point, you'll see like I think a second circuit kicks in, and it allows you to get really great shadows in low light situations. So that's something that I'm really happy about. I actually think from all the research I've been doing, this actually performs better, ever so slightly better than the A7S III, which as we know is a, dare I say, low light beast. I hate saying low light beast, but you know, it's really good in low light. So one thing that's great about this is that it keeps the S-Cinetone color science, which is originally developed for the Venice, passed down to the FX9 and is now in the FX6. So straight out of camera, you're gonna have really good color science. People have been really feeling the colors that you get out of this. But you also have 15 stops plus of dynamic range here. So if you're looking to retain all of the details from the shadows right through to blown out highlights, this is a camera for you. So one of the other cool things about the FX6 is that it has gyroscopic data recorded. So whilst it doesn't have IBIS or image stabilization built into the sensor, like you get on the A7S III, it does record the gyroscopic data on the footage. So then once you've uploaded it to your computer, you can then use Catalyst Browse, Sony's proprietary software, to remove any of the shakes and jitters that you might get. And it's really, it's quite seamless. I wish that it was built into like other NLEs, but you know, over time we'll see how that works out. Other thing I like about it is that you've got the variable ND filter built in. You can set it to auto. That's something that separates this from a lot of other cameras. I think the FX9 has this, the A7S III doesn't have it, but it's a really nice feature and something I'm looking forward to using. and something that makes me want to use this more so than I'd use the A7S III, just to be able to have that. You got presets, so you can set it to certain levels just straight out off the gate, but having the ability to have the camera kind of decide for you is really going to allow you, when you're going from really high contrast areas where maybe you're going from indoors to outdoors, this is going to really save you in those situations. One of the other things which is really cool about this is the FX6 is actually part of the alpha range, and it's adopted the autofocus. So you can see here footage of my boy Bryce, DP extraordinaire, and if he drops the camera a little bit, you'll see it's locked onto his eye now, and you've got the hybrid autofocus just coming close. And that's locked his eye. I'll drop that low. So when it loses his eye, it will pick up on his face, and all of the craziness, all this movement I'm doing now, all being caught. So with auto ND and auto focus, that's this good on a small body cinema camera. It's a really good, well, close to being perfect run and gun camera right here. Got to perfect the ninja walk. So one of the other cool things about this is that it's got the 4K 120, which is really nice. You know, people were expecting 4K 60 for a while. Sony decided to one up that and go 4K 120. In addition to that, at 1080, you've got 240 frames per second. That's really cool. I haven't used it that much, but I can see myself using it a lot. In addition to that, it's got the same processor that you find in the A7S III, so that's the Bions XR. So really powerful, really cool in terms of processing data at really fast rates. In addition, you've got 16-bit RAW coming straight out of the SDI. You do have HDMI out. I wish you had RAW coming out of the HDMI. I think that would have been a nice touch, but it comes out of the SDI, which is a professional standard. At the moment, I believe the Atomos Shogun is the monitor you're going to want to use if you're going to make the most use out of that. So SDI out for the raw 16-bit output. And you also have 10-bit 422. So the color out of this is really amazing. Again, just keeping in that same kind of vein that you get in the A7S III. You're going to get really cool colors out of this, and really going to be able to push the S-Log profile to its limits in terms of getting the full dynamic range in what you're looking for. And then with Sony now, you've got at least 50 EMAT lenses, native, that go with the bodies. You've got a lot of choice, a lot of range. There's third-party lenses as well. There's mounts. You've got a lot to go with. So as you can probably tell, I'm going to be picking up one of these. Form factor, weight, size, I love it. And in terms of full frame cine cameras, there's nothing really on the market that's like this. So if you're really looking to step your game up, got to get one.
Oh, and one other thing. Bryce and I just designed a LUT pack. The Explorer pack and the Expedite pack, and you can also get a joint bundle if you're looking to save some cash. But these are designed on the FX6 and the A7S III, and if you're looking for a quick way to monitor in a field or just to grade your footage and have a decent look straight off the bat, these are a great way to start. So if you look in the description below, and also here, and I guess here, there's links to videos to see how they look. But yeah, go check them out, have some fun, and yeah, let us know your feedback.